So getting back to French and Max, will you work with Max B when he gets out of jail?
Fuck Max B.
Okay.
Max suck dick. Fuck out of here.
All right.
Out of nowhere, the hip-hop world got hit with a shocker. Jim Jones finally broke his silence and spoke in full detail about his long, messy, and downright legendary fallout with Max B. And instead of healing old wounds, his confession threw gasoline on a fire that's been burning for nearly 20 years. The Dipset capo didn't dodge, deflect, or hide behind vague answers. He came clean and said it all like a man who's been carrying this for too long.
I remember the feds was across the street, and he was like, "You see them? Just a matter of time, but you ain't never gonna see them. They're just talking crazy."
Hold on, you said the feds was right
across the street, yeah,
across the street,
he pointed them out.
just sitting there like,
yeah. And he was just like, and me pointed at them and like, "Look, they go right there. Just they following us. You ain't never gonna see a fan." No, one of the Meech episodes.
Yeah.
Then I just got a call a day or two after.
He got picked up.
Nah,
he lost the footage.
My cameraman that don't even know them.
He really lost
like, yo, I thought I filmed it. I can't find it.
Jim admitted that when he first started bringing artists under him, he didn't really know the right way to do business. He just copied what he saw growing up around Harlem, the old school street method. He said the people who mentored him handled business through pressure, control, and dominance. And that's exactly how he moved when Max B came into the picture. He said outright, he made deals that looked flashy, but were built to benefit him first. Fast cash, quick signings, no time to think. That's how the game worked back then. He didn't try to spin it either. He said that was the blueprint passed down to him from locked-up mentors, hustler executives, and Harlem bosses who played the game one way their way. Jim even admitted he could have held on to Max's publishing forever, kept the catalog that built an entire era of New York music, and nobody could have stopped him. But he said he let it go out of principle, even though it cost him a fortune. But here's where things took a turn. Even after admitting all that, Jim made it clear he doesn't feel like he owes Max an apology. He said, "It's business. I did what I knew, and I stood on it." That statement hit hard because it showed he's not trying to rewrite history, he's owning it, flaws and all.
Could she call my phone? Why does bitch call my phone when I told her I was trying to cool the drama down? She said, "Biggie, I need you." You do that? That bitch don't get enough of this dick. Bitch, I'm the space invader. I got the bitch cushy on tape, and I'm about to show that. Got the bitch on my camera phone. Got the bitch on my camera phone. I got the bitch cushy on my camera phone. That's Jim Jones' fiance.
So now everybody's asking the same question. When Max B gets out, will Jim Jones actually link back up with him, or has that bridge burned for good? Jim didn't bite his tongue for a second. He snapped, "No, forget Max B, forget all that." And just like that, the whole tone flipped in seconds. What started as a calm, reflective moment instantly exploded into confrontation. The room went from quiet to charged, and everyone watching knew this wasn't about business anymore. This was personal. But here's what people keep missing. Jim's refusal to apologize doesn't come from pride alone. It comes from years of resentment and betrayal. He feels like Max B turned a private business issue into a circus act that dragged his name through every corner of the culture. According to Jim, this feud wasn't just about paperwork or money. It was loyalty, trust, and how it all fell apart right in public view. Jim said he helped Max from the jump, bailed him out, gave him a lane, invested in his future, and set him up to shine.
Let's see him, nigga.
Hold up,
Let
little Sharon get in there. Let little Sharon get in there.
There she go.
Where's little Sharon at? I'm gonna give him the phone. Hold up. Yo, them jeans ain't tight enough, nigga.
I nigga look like 30.
Them jeans ain't tight enough, nigga.
He said he treated Max like family, not some random artist off the block. But instead of returning that love, he had to watch Max go on DVDs, freestyles, and interviews throwing shot after shot. It wasn't light shade Max made, calling out Jim Jones part of his whole identity. Every time his name came up, he used the beef to build buzz, to feed the streets with more drama. And when Max teamed up with French Montana for Cocaine City and the Coke Wave movement, that beef went nuclear. It wasn't just personal anymore, it became branding, a whole image built around disrespect and rebellion. Jim feels like Max weaponized the conflict, turned pain into marketing, and used humiliation to fuel his come-up. So yeah, Jim admitting he made business mistakes, that's one thing. But apologizing, that's a whole different story. In his mind, saying sorry means saying Max was innocent, and Jim refuses to play that game. Not then, not now, not even after Max walked out of prison 16 years later. To Jim, that betrayal left a mark that time couldn't erase. That line he drew in the sand back then, it's still there today, bold as ever. And if you really want to understand why this tension still hangs heavy over the culture, you gotta rewind to that early 2000s era when DVDs, street interviews, and mixtapes were the internet before the internet.
I said once a fucking yeah. My fucking brothers is back together.
Yeah, they finally did it. They finally did it. They finally did it.
Good. Let's go get that 7
They finally did it. We going to Morocco. We going to Morocco.
Back when one interview could make you a legend or start a war. This wasn't some social media beef. This was real-life chaos, unpredictable and raw. French Montana said he remembers those days like it happened yesterday. Max was out there wilding, yelling outside buildings, calling out names, pulling up unannounced, and people loved it. There were nights when French would be in the club and folks would start throwing ice at him just because of who he was standing next to. Cameras were always rolling, footage was dropping non-stop, and every wild moment became instant hood legend. Back then, Jim and Jules couldn't even be in the same spot as Max and French without the energy flipping into a full standoff. If Jim heard Max was in Harlem, he'd pull up himself, ready to face whatever came with it. This wasn't internet trolling, this was pride, cruise, and respect on the line every single time. There were summers when Max would literally lean out of windows, calling out Jim by name, shouting challenges while the cameras caught it all. That footage spread through the streets before viral was even a thing. You had to get the DVD just to see what happened, and people waited for those drops like they were mixtapes. It was on site everywhere. The Bronx, Harlem, Manhattan, the Rucker, random events, studio hallways, even backstage at festivals, no place was safe. Nobody was bluffing, and no one wanted to look weak. The energy was wild street tension mixed with real consequences. French even told a story about one time when the feds were literally parked across the street while Big Meech was talking and the cameras still kept rolling. That's how reckless that era was. Nobody cared about consequences, only about capturing the moment and proving who ran the city. That whole mentality bled right into the Jim and Max beef. This wasn't rap for clout, it was about street loyalty, pride, money, and dominance. Both sides wanted to be the face of New York during a time when the city wasn't even showing love to its own artists. So when Max B got locked up and the Coke Wave legend started to grow, people thought maybe time would calm things down. But they were wrong, the energy never really left, it just went quiet, waiting for the next spark. People thought maybe one day Jim Jones would finally say those few words that could close this chapter for good. But Jim crushed that dream instantly. He made it crystal clear there's no apology coming. Even though he openly admits he used Max B early in his career. Even though he said he was still learning the ropes of running a label, building artists, and navigating fame. He still won't say, sorry. And not out of coldness or pride, it runs much deeper than that. Jim explained that the damage Max caused afterward went way beyond contracts or business. To him, Max didn't just walk away, he burned everything on his way out. Jim feels like Max publicly humiliated him, mocked him in front of the culture, and sabotaged years of hard work. He said Max didn't just expose mistakes, he turned those mistakes into entertainment. Every interview, every freestyle, every DVD moment felt like salt in the wound. In Jim's eyes, you don't apologize to someone who weaponized your pain and used your flaws for fame. To him, that's not closure, that's surrender. Saying sorry would feel like rewarding the same person who cut the deepest. So instead, Jim stands tall on his truth. He admits what he needs to the business flaws, the ego, the learning curve, but he refuses to rewrite history just to make peace look pretty. When it comes to ending the feud, Jim said straight up, that's never happening. He sees the whole situation as part of a specific era that shaped who he is today, an era he survived. It's the time that taught him how to move smarter, run business clean, and protect his name. He doesn't hate Max B, and he doesn't wish him harm, but he's done pretending they could ever be cool again. In his eyes, a beef that long, that deep, that messy, involving crews, money, betrayal, violence, and pride doesn't end with a handshake or a photo op. It's part of hip-hop history now, and for Jim, it's a wound that healed, but never faded. Max B's release didn't change a thing, not the past, not the pain, not the pride. Time moved forward, but that old tension never really faded. Some chapters in hip-hop don't close because they were never meant to, and Jim Jones made that crystal clear. He's not giving fans a fairy tale ending. He's not forcing peace for nostalgia, and he's definitely not apologizing just to look good for the cameras. Jim said he already lived through the chaos, took the hits, survived the fallout, and kept pushing. He doesn't feel any need to rewrite the story or fake forgiveness for clout. To him, that era was war, and the fact that he made it outstanding is enough closure on its own. He's not chasing a picture-perfect ending because real life doesn't work like that. What this really shows is something hip-hop rarely gets: pure honesty. One of the rawest confessions ever in rap history. A man admitting his flaws, taking ownership of his past, and still refusing to apologize because the pain that followed was worse than the mistake that started it. That's not ego, that's scars talking. Jim Jones and Max B will forever be tied together, not as friends, but as opposites in one of New York's wildest rivalries. Their names alone spark memories of a time when rap beefs felt dangerous, unpredictable, and real. Max is finally home, Jim is thriving, and even though both have grown, the story remains locked in hip-hop history forever. Not out of bitterness, but because some stories are too powerful, too personal, and too legendary to ever fade away. When you strip it all down, this isn't a story about forgiveness, it's about truth. It's a reminder that some rivalries cut so deep into a moment, into a movement, into a city, that they stop being beef and become legend. What happened between Jim Jones and Max B wasn't just personal, it shaped a whole era of New York rap, an era built on pride, pain, and survival. Jim spoke his truth loud and clear, and Max lived his in full view of the world. The space between them, all that tension, all that energy, became the birthplace of one of the most unforgettable chapters in hip-hop history. It's a story carved into the streets, told in every verse, every headline, every beat that carried their names. Whether they ever see eye to eye again doesn't even matter anymore. The history is locked in, the damage is done, and the legacy it's already written in the DNA of New York hip-hop forever. What comes next isn't about reconciliation. It's about reflection for the culture to watch, to debate, and to remember how real it got. If you felt this breakdown, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. You don't want to miss what's coming next.